Ladies and gentlemen, PJ Carlesimo.
Thank you, Michael. Monsignor, honorees, ladies and gentlemen, friends and supporters of Seton Hall Athletics. It's great for me to be back tonight, but selfishly, I feel better looking at Seton Hall with Joe Quinlan back as athletic director, Robin back, and Lewis doing the job he's doing with basketball. I'm so happy for the direction our program is heading. Monsignor said Joe's the CEO. I like that. Lewis, they chartered back last night from Florida. We chartered back. Where's T? The only time, Jerry, the only time we chartered back was after we got beat in the NCAAs in Orlando. It was the only charter we took, so that was the end of charters when I was here. I hope it's not the end here. Lewis, great move going zone. That had to be the only thing that you learned from Boeheim when you were up in Syracuse. I don't think you need it, but I'm speaking for them. I'm not talking to the little guys that are back there, but we got Ramon and Darryl, Anthony Avent, Franz Volsi, and we'll throw in Jerry Walker. If you need help on the front line on Saturday, those guys are all available. Special congratulations to tonight's inductees. Jules is an old friend, supporter for many, many years of the baseball program and all the sports at Seton Hall. Hector was my last couple of years to see him come in and build on that great tradition that Eddie and Manny have instituted at the Hall. It was great to be a part of them. Bob Wessler, I truly don't remember. Bob was a very close friend of my father's, and one of them called the other Kermit the Frog. I'm not sure which was which, but there was a Kermit the Frog between the two of them. And Bob has done so much for the Hall. He's being acknowledged now, but he did so much behind the scenes. He's always been there whenever we needed him. I'm prejudiced, and selfishly, I'm so happy for Ramon tonight to have a chance to spend time with so many of his classmates and friends, but especially to go into the Hall of Fame with Ian and with Angela, because the three of them were together, they overlapped, spent so much time together, and as the Harps and the others will attest to, whether it was Thanksgiving vacation or Christmas break or Easter break, generally the only people in the school's cafeteria were the athletes or the international students. Ian, Angela, and Ramon were both. And it was always great when everybody else was away to see those guys and gals and to hear Ian talk about how much it meant to him and how much they took from Seton Hall and how much the three of them have meant to Seton Hall. It's so special for the three of them to go in together. Ramon Ramos, I don't know where to start. I met Ramon, I think it was in the early 80s. He was playing for Herb Brown in Canovanas, and Herb told me about this young big guy that he thought could be a good basketball player and was a good student, and was I interested in. Obviously, it took about a second and a half of watching him play to know that we were interested in. Ever since then, the thing that probably impresses me the most, I think Monsignor talked about it, you start with your family. I'm prejudiced. I think that I've got had the best two parents. I've got one right now that anybody's ever had. But if ever I had to pick another couple to be my parents, Senor and Senora Ramos, I would love it to be you. I'm used to crying at Mayfair Farms at Seton Hall dinners. Sure most of you, unfortunately, are used to that also. One big difference is I didn't wear glasses when I was here for 12 years, and when I cried, I could still see. Ramon has touched people wherever he's been. That's evident tonight. His beautiful island, Puerto Rico. Etienne is here directed the national team for so long, where Ramon played for his native Puerto Rico in the Olympics. So many of his family and friends and media are here. Seton Hall and New Jersey community. So many of Ramon's teammates are back. Not just guys he played with, but guys who played in the years after him were back to help honor him. Managers that were on our team, so many of the coaches that worked during Ramon's time and during our 12 years here, and everybody at the Hall. The thing that I remember, and I remember so vividly seeing Patty and Ian and Hector and these guys in the cafeteria. What was different, what was always different about Ramon, we all tend to gravitate toward our friends and our teammates, the guys we're comfortable with, or the ladies that we're comfortable with. And yet if you went into the cafeteria, whether it was during a vacation time or it was during the year, Ramon would be sitting with other people. He'd be sitting with the other students. He'd be sitting with people from other teams. He'd be sitting with the ladies that worked in the cafeteria or the grounds crew. I don't know that there was ever an athlete at Seton Hall that knew more people on a first-name basis at Seton Hall, way outside of basketball. Every sport, Monsignor talked about living in the dorms with him. He was more a special person than he was a special athlete. The chaplain from the Portland Trailblazers, Al Egg, is here with them. Al couldn't keep me there, got me fired there, but still we had... Al and I spent 3 good years together. I wish it was a little longer, but we happened to play the Blazers last week, and every time I've been back to Portland, and it's been an awful lot of times, I can't be there an hour, and I'm not talking in the Rose Garden or in the Coliseum, and I'm not talking the players or the coaches or the people like that, but the people in the office, the administrative assistants, the people in marketing, the people in the hotel. Everybody in Portland always asks me, how's Ramon doing? Ramon never got a chance to play in a regular season game for the Blazers. He played in the summer, he played in the exhibition season, and he had just come off the injury list when he had his accident. But everybody to this day still asks me every time I go back, how's he doing? That's the kind of impact he had. He touched people always, everywhere he's been. Was he a special basketball player? And is that why he's being inducted? Yes, it is. He's a 1,000-point scorer. He's one of our leading rebounders. He does lead in field goal percentage. He blocked almost as many shots as anybody that's ever played. He was drafted by the Blazers. He was the first team All-Big East player. He was a scholar athlete working with Robin for 4 years for the Big East Conference. So that's why he's in the Hall of Fame, and that's very, very special. But when I think back to his time at the Hall, most students come to a university to better themselves. A rare few end up bettering the university. Ramon Ramos was one of those few.